What's up, boys? We're back with some more Backpack Survivors, and they've added a whole new Path of Exile talent tree system to the game. So today we're going to be going for very slow but very large projectiles. 50% projectile size, but they move at 1/4 of the speed. Bit of extra projectile size over there. And then with my remaining points, we gain some decent range damage based on our range tags, and just a little bit of damage and crit stats. So last time we experimented a little bit. I guess I'll try the second difficulty here. Second Hellfire level, I guess it is. So we did a full melee build, and the daggers ended up being very good. I guess we could try the bladed fan out. That is a ranged piercing weapon, so might help in the early game. More bag space, toss all of that stuff in. Let's see, +1 penetrating for whatever we buff up with those. That doesn't have any penetration by default, so it would be decent on that. Won't be able to fit all of that in, but that's probably fine. Can I do this in a way that we can buff that up with both the goggles and the key? That would be pretty nice for damage and cooldown. Yeah, if we just rotate that, I think it should be pretty easy. We'll be able to fit in the other two little freebies we have, but I think that'll be fine for now. We can toss some cheap rerolls, see if we can find some more bag space real quick, I guess. Armor spiked. Weapon range. We can lock that for later. I don't think we really need anything else there. So the energy daggers, which are a green item I think, ended up being almost as good as my purple melee weapon on the melee build. So I think if we do a full range build based around those daggers, they'll actually end up being really insane. Looks like the range on this thing is actually really short. Honestly, doesn't seem like a very good weapon. I hope that's going to be enough to get us through the early game until we can actually find some of the daggers in the shop. Because this seems like pain right now. Never really tried this weapon out before. Try and get a bit of gold to actually do some rerolls and chopping before we head into the shop, I think. Probably need to kill some of those bats. Okay, there we go. See if we can get something to help out in the early game now. I don't think this fan thing is the play. Those are ranged, I think, yeah. We could probably try out some of those then. Grab our bag. I don't think we want anything else here. Oh yeah, the shuriken's not bad. I think we could work with the combination for that. So we need 5 spots for that. Can we combine that and buff it up a bunch? I think that works. So that'll give us the Ancient Tri-Blade at the next shop, which will cause a bouncing attack, I think. And those are all buffing it up. I guess we probably could sell that. I'll hold it for a little bit just in case. That also doesn't seem too hot, but I think the combination where it starts bouncing between them is pretty good. So we'll probably just want to rush the shop here as soon as possible to get that finished then. Even though we might not have a ton of gold for it. So, Ancient Tri-Blade. It doesn't say anything about the bouncing, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Oh, I guess the penetrating must be the number of times it bounces, actually. Looks like it comes with 5 by default, so we don't really need the goggles on it, but they can help out a little bit with the AoE. Simple bow. It's pretty good if you combine it with the fire stuff, but you need 4 of those, I think. Oh, we also do have 1 banishment now. Not sure. Broken Wand probably combines with something cool as well. Definitely want the bag space since we're very light on that currently. I'm just gonna sell that thing, I think. Can we fit in the mace thing and maybe buff up both of those? I guess the key onto the tri-blade's probably more important. Probably just need to find some more space for now. There's one. Enemies hit are afflicted by poison. All damage is converted to poison. We might actually be able to use that. Poison is a stacking 5%. Honestly, I think I'm down to try that. I think there's some cool energy stuff as well. I'm gonna try not to get too greedy, I think. I do like these shields. They give a pretty nice boost to health regen. I'll grab one of those even though we don't really have room for it currently. And I guess we'll toss a couple more rerolls to try and find some bag space. Anything for that? Nope. No bag space. Requires at least 3 melee tags for lightning-based melee. Nope. Actually, is there a way I can buff up the 2 of those? I guess I can just toss the Seed of Ingenuity into there and that should be decent. We don't really need the goggles. I don't think that's the bouncing weapon that I remember. That must have been some other combination I did last time where it was bouncing. I have no idea what this weapon is. I've never seen that before. Maybe it was the one with the duct tape that bounced between enemies or something? Let's grab the magnet first so we have more money for this. Oops, didn't let them all come to me. Oh, we got them all. Okay, nice. Lightning and crit multi. We really need some bag space though. No, it doesn't work with... Oh wait, that's the same thing. Got some bag space there. Don't think we want any of that. More bag space. How do I banish that? I don't know. Oh, it's probably that thing. Okay. More backspace. We'll get another of those, and I'll try to find the combination for the bouncing thing, since I think I like that more. More bags. Okay, that'll help out a lot. So we can put that on one thing to convert it into poison. Dashes speed based on fire damage. Holy Scepter, I don't think so. We can unlock the bag. Is there anything we need to do in specific here? We should probably have the poison on the tri-blade, I guess. So that spot would be good. And then I don't think there's really any specific stuff we need other than that. The shuriken and the shield would both be nice if we can fit all of that in. I guess that doesn't quite do it. How do I do this? I don't think I can like that. Okay, that should work. Won't have the coin, but that's not a big deal, I think. Yeah, not really a big fan of the shurikens. I think we need to find some of those green daggers soon, hopefully. Energy damage, energy into health. Interesting. Have another bag there and there. Don't think we really need any of that. Ointment was what I used on that, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Armor, lightning damage, more bags. That is an ingredient, we just don't have anything that goes with it yet. Another ancient tri-blade, don't care, what does that go with? Okay, so I guess the tape probably was what went with the shuriken. We'll likely need a second copy of that for the tape. Oh no, that does only need one, okay. We can do that then. Big bag over there. Don't really have money for anything else currently. Oh yeah, the tomahawk might be decent as well. I guess we could lock one of those. And we can have that on the shuriken until it combines here. I guess what we should do is grab one of the poison things from the shop so that I can always see whenever that combines with something else here. Alright, let's go ahead and combine the shuriken. So I think this is the bouncing one. Looks like it doesn't have any piercing. And even with that, it doesn't have any. I'm pretty sure it's the bouncing one. It doesn't say anything at all about that, though. Doesn't seem like this does anything for it, though. We actually can combine these with a duct tape as well, I think. Kind of funny, you can just duct tape all of your weapons together. So we'll have that as an ingredient, and then if we see anything in the shop, it will show us what it combines with, and that'll help with finding the poison stuff. Armor lightning, armor dodge. Dagger is a throwing weapon. Does that go with the energy? That's probably won't be super useful. Actually, maybe. I kind of just want to experiment and see what kind of stuff we can get. So is that all we need for that? Yes. Oh wait, that's the shield. Magical daggers. Oh, that might actually be the thing I'm looking for now that I think about it. Let's see, we could still use some duct tape for the axes. There we go. I don't think we really need anything else. So we need to combine those in a way where it won't like mess up my shield, since I want it like that for the extra health regen. And then we need to combine those as well. Wait, that won't work. We can just toss these over here. Can I? No, I need one more space for that. That'll give us the double hawk. Then we can fit the shield back in there. We might not be able to get that before the boss, but maybe we can squeeze it in. That is definitely not the bouncing thing. I don't remember what the bouncing shuriken was. That is definitely just a giant chain circling us. But I kind of like it. Okay, we do have time for the shop if I can get over there right away. So that's still a ranged weapon. Interesting. Oh, nice. That is the thing I was looking for. Energy and slashing ranged weapon. 5 penetrating, 1 projectile count. So this is what we want to scale up a ton, I think. Lightning-based melee. Energy damage and health. So I think these will be pretty decent later on. But 6 slots is so expensive. Maybe not. So we'll grab the daggers to combine for some more of those then. Half-price simple bow. I'm curious if there's any other combinations for that other than the fire stuff. So I'll grab that at half price. Oops, there's a bag there. Damage edge shib is melee, so no. We have one of those, but we might want some more anyways. Holy javelin, interesting. Void damage. I'm curious. Oh, I guess it's not an ingredient, so I guess we can't tape 2 double hawks together like we could with a sword. So we need to combine the dagger, and I think that's the only necessary thing here. It has 5 penetrating. That doesn't have a penetration since it just keeps going around. I guess we'll put that on the daggers. And then we'll want to buff that up a lot as well, so we can probably have that over there. And the shuriken's pretty fun, so I might want to buff that up a bit more. These all have a lot of penetrating, so we don't really need the goggles that much. Oh, right. You can only have 5 by default unless you add some duct tape, but I don't really care that much currently. I guess we can grab one of those, bit of extra damage for the boss. Now we have poisonous energy daggers. I guess we'll probably just take the rare here that gives some extra damage. Nothing super interesting for how we're trying to build, I think. But free extra range attacks is always nice. Oh, there's my cursor. Grab some more of those just in case. We haven't found anything to combine with the poison yet, it looks like. I'll grab another of those just in case. Speed and dashes. It's not bad, even though we can't really use the holy effects, but having the extra dash might be nice. I guess we could grab that just in case I want to combine it with anything. Another one. We have so much bag space now. Spiked, Vex Blunt, and Slashing. That actually should work on the daggers. Oh no, we converted them to poison. They're energy and slashing by default. So I think we will have to replace the poison thing at some point because of that. In fact, we're losing a lot of damage right now. They do like half damage as poison, it looks like. 44 to 63. What is causing that? Maybe it's like full damage for the 2 different damage types? So if it has only 1 damage type, it's half the damage? Let's see, that is 19 to 30. Yeah, that one's not losing the damage, so it must be something weird with the dual damage type. I didn't notice that before, but we definitely don't want the poison on that then. which means we actually can get decent value out of that for the 2 daggers we have now. Probably don't want to do any more rolls after that. So broken wands can go with the energy stuff. I'm down to see what that makes. So we'll probably want the poison on the spinner then. How do I fit all of this junk in here? It's not super important on those, but it's not bad either. I guess we could have everything affecting that one and have it be super strong. If I move it a bit away from the wall there, I think we can get the goggles onto 2 different daggers, maybe? Actually, I'll probably need another space there. So we can do that, have that on both of the daggers, which are supposed to be our main weapons. And then I don't think positioning is too important for anything now. We just need that on the spinner. And there isn't any specific positioning for those. We have 1 weapon slot. I probably don't need that. And we want to see what that makes. Magic wand. I guess we can grab another of those since they'll buff up the daggers pretty nicely. Now we have a bunch of gigantic orbiting ranged weapons. So 1 projectile count, looks like no piercing. Doesn't sound that great. It is an ingredient for something else though, so we might be able to make a very high tier magic wand at some point if we can figure out how to do that. All fire and energy based weapons? Okay, not bad. That'll bring each of those from 5 base up to 8, plus the dagger, or the goggles of course. And we can also do fire with that as well. I guess we'll make another magic wand just in case we can use that. Lightning. Big chest over there, sure. I guess we probably replace the double hawk then? I kind of like all the orbiting stuff and we want to see what all of the wands will make later on. I guess that's fine. Not really super interesting. I guess that's fine too. Oh, the wand actually seems to last a while even after hitting enemies. Very slow though. It doesn't really seem that great compared to the other stuff we have so far. So we are done with the inventory now. Those don't do anything with each other, so we'll have to find something else to go with them then. I guess that's okay. We do have a lot of free space now. Dagger, we could make some more magical daggers. I do like those. These 5 energy tags gives us a bunch of health and regen. Okay, that's very nice for one slot. Half price, yeah, why not? Another poison, but we're kind of going fully into the energy-based stuff now, and that nerfs our main weapon for some reason. Free magical daggers, so we can have 4 of those. Just keep those for the ingredient combination later on, I guess. So I guess we can sell that as long as it's not an ingredient, yeah. And then we need a bunch of passive stats in there. I guess we could grab a duct tape at some point if I wanted to add in some more ranged weapons. That's fine, I guess. And now we buzzsaw. That is not the magical daggers, that's a melee sword. Piercing-based range weapons, that does not work for this. Although it is very good, but I don't think we really have much for that. More energy, why not? Armor and spikes. That does work. I don't think spiked is very good here. We're not really taking that many hits, and I'm kind of a glass cannon, so I don't think so. That's not bad, since these also have slashing. We can just have a bunch of these to fill in any open slots. More daggers, that would bring us up to 5. Sure, why not? So I guess we can get rid of all of that. I'll keep that to see if there's any cool combinations for it. Energy damage and stun chance, okay. We can try that out. Piercing cold. It doesn't even have any piercing amount, what? Slashing, bleeding. Projectile speed, energy damage, huge base damage. Okay, that's insane. Holy, that is a ridiculous green 2-slot item. Wow. So these are 98 max. And they go up to 206? What the heck? That's insane. Let's make that a bit nicer. We can get rid of that now. Actually, is that an ingredient for anything? No. So we've got 5 of the weapon I wanted to build around. And we'll have a bunch of decent armor stuff to fit in. Don't need that, it's not an ingredient for anything. And I think that is fine for now. 15% energy, 15% slashing, stun chance, tons of base damage, that is insane! And then the projectile speed will make them orbit faster as well. Oh, and I guess we can dash a little bit to reset the cooldowns for even more. Fire damage requires at most 1 weapon. Nope. Does that combine with anything? No. Blunt and slashing. Not bad. Oh, I do not want to do that actually. That would be pretty bad. Affects lightning-based weapons. Nope. Really cool stats though. Penetrating, area of effect, and projectile size. I don't know if I want to fit one of those in. I guess it is better than the energy stuff. Except those buff that, don't they? 15? Yeah, with the base damage on top of that, that's actually quite good. I don't think we really need any of those. Half price if we want to combine that with anything. Penetrating for lightning based. Energy based range weapons, crit chance, crit multi. That's actually pretty good, I think. 10 and 30. And we have the extra from the talent there. 3 energy tags gives us huge luck and coin chance. Honestly, for 1 slot, I think I'm down for that. And then we'll lock that. And I think that's fine for now. Still haven't found anything for those to combine with. I can't see my targeting thing. Maybe because we don't have any, like, specific direction weapons, they're all just circles around us. So it wouldn't even matter if I'm targeting anything. If we get a few of those so that my crit chance is really high, then those will actually be pretty insane. Energy-based range weapons, crit multi penetrating. That's pretty solid for 2 slots. Those are really good survivability for 1 slot. Melee, another of those. Oh my god, that was an insane shop. We really only need 1 of those. I don't think we need any of those, although they're pretty good survivability. Three penetrating? Yeah, that's not bad for 1 slot. Certainly beats one of those anyways. think we can wait a bit on that. We definitely want that, and that in. We could wait on that, although it's not bad. I guess we don't really need that. But yeah, let's see how much the damage goes up. 223. 427. My god. This game looking real submissive and breakable right now. And honestly, I love it. Last shop for the boss here. Just try and find some cool accessories for energy-based stuff. 4 base and 2 penetrating. It's not bad, but I'm not sure if it's, like, amazing. I guess it's probably better than 2 of those anyways. We're up to 12 penetration already, or 11 for most of them, I guess. Oh, I guess the goggles are trash, actually. We definitely don't need those. We can do better for every weapon available. Another nice survivability thing. Like, we're a glass cannon build, but we're not actually squishy due to the Amulet of Arcane Rebirths anyways. Cooldown crit chance, that is extremely good for 1 slot, my god. I don't even know if we need these, but I'm just grabbing all the cool energy stuff anyways. Another one? I guess we can eventually replace most of the armor stuff, since the amulets will take care of survivability anyways. That's not really super important, although... what does the energy do for that? Energy wards... that thing. Okay, we definitely don't want to do that. 409. 814? Really? That is so overkill. Those are pretty junk. I think that's fine for now. We don't really need that. Probably don't need to keep that either. Bye-bye. Yeah, this build looking pretty ridiculous. I don't think any of these matter too much. Let's toss a reroll. I would take that one out of them, but that's just not a lot of damage. We may as well try out the triple loot, I suppose, since we are absolutely blasting everything. I wonder if I can just save that for when the boss comes out, actually. Energy-based melee, that won't actually work on us since those are ranged. It's not even that good. It's okay. Energy-based melee again, rip. Holy Convergence. Does add 1 projectile count to the start item, but you can only buff one thing with that. It's not terrible, but we have 5 of these, so it doesn't really accomplish that much since it takes up the same total number of spaces anyways. Another of those. What is our crit chance at on these? 35%. So 2 of those would bring us up to 75%. That is very good for 1 slot. That's still insanely good for 2 slots. We probably don't need that. I'll grab it just in case. Luck and extra coin. Probably don't really need any of those anymore. That is a lot of slots to take up. The start items are very strong. It's gonna be hard to fit in, but honestly, it sounds kind of funny. Fire-based ranged weapons. $45 spiked now. All damage is converted to energy for up to 2 items. 20% crit multi, 3 base damage. So that would allow us to add any ranged weapon into the build. I don't think we're going to use that, but I'll grab it just in case. Then we need to try and fit this monstrosity into the build somehow. I guess we'll have to definitely get rid of that. And probably that. Stun chance doesn't do anything with how high my damage is anyways. And then we need 1 more slot on top of that. Shouldn't be too bad, we just need to mess that around with the positioning quite a bit. Actually, we'll want to buff that one up since the key is on it as well. And then we'll want that over there, I guess. We probably don't need that helmet. Oh yeah, I'll need more space over there actually. Huh. I guess we'll have to do like up and down instead of left and right. There's more spaces that way, right? 2, 4, 6, 8 versus... No, I guess it's 8 on both sides. Huh. That is a tough thing to fit in there. Yeah, I'm not sure if we can have the key on it. So those will have insane projectiles, insane energy damage. We'll get some extra cooldown and dodge chance. My armor will be pretty low. But anything I look at will die instantly. Can't add anything else to those. We can still have the key over there. Oh, what is that thing doing in here? We'll probably just sell that. And then we can have that thing. Buffing up that, plus one other of these. And I guess one above it as well. We definitely don't need these 5% things if we have anything better. So that's still buffing 3 of them, plus one of the biggest ones. I guess we can just toss whatever in now. Those do give a little bit of armor. We definitely want all of the amulets. Those are really good for one slot. And I think that's fine for now. And the two next to that will be absolutely insane. 1600 energy damage, 3 projectiles, 17 penetrating. %, cooldown reduction isn't that good for 4 slots. Does have a lot of weapon range though. Those are extremely good for 1 slot. Does weapon range even work on these? There isn't a stat for it. There's a circling range. Did I have anything else that affects weapon range? I don't think so. Does that work on the circling range? 3.0. 3.9. Okay, it does. So that might actually be pretty nice for that then. What the heck? 2 projectile count for 4 slots? That's crazy. That takes up so many slots for just the 2 weapons and a bit of energy damage. Well, I guess we're probably not going to end up using those. I don't know if we really need that. I'm kind of just an energy hoarder at this point. But we also don't really need gold much. 30% cooldown? Oh, that's melee. Epic Void. I don't know if we need any of those. I don't think the key does much for just 1 weapon. We don't need to keep that. %, crit multi based on energy. 20% weapon range. Ooh, 1 dash. Okay, we can replace those boots with that. And then I think I want to try both of these for the super long range. We can probably do without those, I guess. We have 2 slots currently. They have 13 penetrating. We can probably do without that. And then now we have super long circling range as well. Oh yeah, that is probably too good to pass up. I guess we could drop one set of daggers. That's really only a 25% boost. Not that important. God, there's just so many good energy things. I can't hold them all. Oh, that actually makes it like harder to aim it. Although we do have much longer range and they're very fast now. I think I can work with that. Especially with how much damage we have anyways. I can't even fit anything in. I think we're fine. We might go for some more of those just to shore up my survivability if we find any, I guess. Another of those. Well, I guess so. Lightning based. More weapon range. You can get 2 dashes off of that. The huge crit multi's pretty nice, and weapon range though. Honestly, maybe? We don't really need those. Piercing based. Two projectile counts for only the starred ones. That is nowhere near as good as this. That's kind of weird. So we want to fit both of those in. How do I do that? How much do we lose off of these? 1695. Those are very important for 2 slots. I guess we don't need that, since that gives 2 projectiles anyways. $12.73. Yeah, I don't feel like that's very efficient for the insane number of slots it takes up. And then that's not great either. $19.27. And we'll have even more projectiles and penetrating. An insane weapon range. I seriously doubt... Oh, that thing's useless. But other than that, I seriously doubt we can really use anything in here now. Void Cane. Well, more survivability. Energy, cold, and speeds? Nah. Another huge crit multi-weapon range. We have plenty of range on those. So that's junk. That's junk. guess we'll toss one of those in. Actually, no, we want those. I feel like I'm just literally going to blend every boss instantly at this point. This is so insane. Another 2 projectile counts? Like, it doesn't really even do anything. We could replace one of those just to really maximize my damage against the final boss. Yeah, I guess that's fine. We can swap it out at that point. Those are very good for 1 slot. Blunt slashing and piercing melee. Crit chance base damage. One projectile counts, but it takes up 6 slots. Nope. 2 projectile count and size. Okay, I don't think we've seen that before. So we definitely want the epic belt thing. How much is one of those? 1882? 400? That's quite a bit for 2 slots. I guess that's fine. We don't really need those 3 penetrating. Everything dies in 1 hit anyways. Oh, we don't need that thing. That's terrible. We don't really need luck or coin chance anymore, I think. Oh, what are those things doing in there? Forgot about those. Oh, we could fit one of those in. I don't know why I'm maximizing my damage, but it's still kind of addicting even though it's complete overkill. Another amulet. Whatever. Just see if there's anything we haven't really seen before yet. Another of those. I think we're fine. fire damage. It's actually starting to lag due to the insane number of extremely fast projectiles I have out. That's crazy. And then we'll grab the power altar like right as the boss is coming out and just try and one-shot him. Yup. Bye-bye. None of these really matter. I guess we'll take the 1 damage thing and just one-shot the final boss. Enemies are afflicted by burn for 6 seconds, 200% fire damage. I still haven't seen... Oh. Magic Wand combines with the fire thing. Oh, it probably turns into Wand of Fire Runes. Since that's 1 rarity higher. Okay, I guess that's what it is. Nothing too exciting then. Energy melee. Lunar gravity. Maybe we'll have to do a void range build at some point then. If there's legendaries for that. Shield of Futile Recovery, minus 35 armor, 150 health, 10% life drain. We don't need it, we're just gonna one-shot the boss here anyways. Another lunar gravity, what is that? Ranged weapons, 1 penetrating, 1 projectile count. That's not that great, since you need specific positioning for it. Now let's go one-shot the final boss. He didn't even get to appear on the screen. Magical daggers. 7.1 million damage. Okay. Max level for demo reached. How much Titan stuff did we get for that? 39 it looks like? Can I get any more bag space off of that? Nope, you need 50. And then we're at the max level for the demo, so we unfortunately can't get any more talent points. But the huge projectile size was pretty fun. We got a bunch of projectile speed on items, so that didn't really even end up mattering too much. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.